Hey everybody, this is Jem, Genco Designs, attracting artists and entrepreneurs who want to improve their digital media skills using top-rated technology. Today we're working with Affinity Designer and we're going to go over applying a gradient to an object. It's a really simple thing to do, but it can add some really dynamic options to your drawings. So the first thing you want to do is you want to select your object. So you can get your move tool and select your object. The easiest way to do this is to select the fill tool right here. It looks like a little color wheel. Okay, and up here you'll notice it says none. If you click and drag in the box, it's going to automatically apply a linear gradient. Okay, so if you wanted to try and do that another way, well, you can click and drag going this way, any way you want. Okay, now to adjust the gradient, okay, we have it in the box. You can select this box here, and this gives you, this is the what they call the gradient editor, excuse me. This allows you to change the color, add stops, and all of that. And you can also do that here on your drawing itself. So that's all a matter of personal preference. But right now we're going to get this set up. So we're just going to apply a nice color to it. And then I'm going to come down here and I want to work in the object itself to show you how this works. Okay, so here's your gradient line. This little mark here is your 50%, okay, and you can adjust that this way, and it just applies the 50% of the color mark, I guess is what you want to say. You can add stops. When you get the little arrow like that that has a little plus sign, you can add a stop right there. When you add a stop, it's going to take the color that's underneath it. Like, for instance, if I add a stop here, it's going to take the color that's underneath that. Okay, and each one comes with its own little 50%, allows you to do a lot of adjusting. You can change the color of a stop, and you can do that over here. Okay, you can double click here, actually click and then double click here, and you'll get the color drop down color chooser box if you want to do it that way. I prefer to use the gradient editor myself because that's the way I have set up my colors to show you how to do this. It all depends on the way you have yours set up. So that's a linear gradient. That's how you apply it, and that's how you can adjust it. Okay, so now that we have that one in, let's go to something else. We're going to go ahead and delete that one out. Let's go in and do a radial gradient. So we would go to the color picker. We're going to come up here and we're going to select radial. And I, like I said, like to use the gradient editor. Come up here and apply my color. Now I want to do this here. And you'll see that one of the great things about Affinity Designer is that when you use their tools or their editor boxes, it actually gives you a live view in your drawing itself, which is really nice. I mean, you're really doing it on the fly, and you're getting a accurate view right away. Okay, so that's nice. So that shows you that this is actually radial, and of course, move it all around, do whatever, make it bigger, smaller. Okay, so that's pretty simple on that one. The elliptical, it's a little bit different. Okay, so we'll do that one this other way just to show you. You select the object, you can come up to this fill box here, come up and select gradient here. You want to select your type. Then you can select your color. Okay, and you can select your 50% bar is what I call it. Okay, fairly easy to do, very dynamic process though. Okay, the next one is the conical one, which is really kind of a cool one. So you got your object selected. Excuse me, we're going to use the color fill tool this time. I think it's actually called the fill tool. I like to call it the color wheel because that's what it looks like, but that's just me. So you're going to come in here and just draw a gradient. Now it automatically does the linear, so you would come up and select your conical. Now this is the cool thing about this one. What you want to do is you want to pull this out like that, so that this line is along one edge of your triangle, because the conical gradient is as if you are staring down from the top of a cone. Okay, now I'm going to open up the editor box, because the center is the color that I want to insert, and you'll see how that works here in a second. This is your 50% line on this gradient, and I want to pull that down here so you can actually see a little better how that looks. Okay, and so then when I get rid of that, it actually looks as if this is a cone. So you have all of your light here and all of your shadow or your darkest value on this edge. Okay, so that's kind of a cool one. Now we're going to do something a little bit more complex. Get our move tool here so we can identify that. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to use a couple of the other options that are in the gradient editor. So we'll select our fill tool. We'll go ahead and apply just a linear gradient here. Okay, we're going to go up to the gradient editor. We're going to change color. Okay, now we're going to insert some stops, and we're going to be precise about it. Okay, so we want a couple of these green stops. I want to copy them, but you can't copy a stop on the right hand side. This far right stop is a fixed, not fixed in location, but fixed as in you can't copy it, insert it. Okay, so what we want to do is flip this. I'm going to reverse it so that then I can copy it from over here. Okay, and it puts it halfway in between. Okay, now I want a green stop at the 50%. Okay, so we're going to put these in exact positions, and you'll see how this works. Now I want another one, and we're going to copy it again. This one I want to put at 70%, so we'll just go down like there. I want to copy another one, and this one I want to put at 30%. Okay, now I want to flip this again because I want to copy some white stops. Okay, so we'll flip it again. Now we highlight this one, and we want to copy that stop. So I want to put a white stop at 40%, and you can just click and drag these along here. So it makes it so easy. And since the white's still highlighted, I want to copy it again, and then I want to put that one at 60%. So we're just going to stick it over here. Okay, and now I want to make this one the actual green again, so that what we end up with is two nice stripes. Okay, now something fun about this is we can come up to go back to our type, our fill right here, and we can change this, and you'll see that you have a nice radial gradient. You can do the elliptical, where you get the other option. You pull this out like that. Okay, so something fun to do with that. I think I've showed you everything with that. So what I'd like to do in closing is I want to show you, now I just showed you something very simple here with two colors, okay? But the true power of a gradient is multiple colors with effects applied to them, okay? So we're going to go ahead and open a separate document here, and just for fun, I've created something else that I want to show you. I'm going to go ahead and pull that out. And this is a simple gradient using multiple colors. Okay. I'm going to show you what that is. If we go ahead and click the fill tool, I'll get the gradient line. Actually, it's a little easier to see up here. Okay, so all I did was I selected some different colors and added them in gradients and selected white here, and then down in the sand area I just added some noise. So if you select your color, then go to the color here, you have a noise option down here at the bottom, and you can add a little texture down there, and that's just something fun. Now this is just something very easy that I did. Another fun thing you can do with gradients is you can turn them into styles. So we have this gradient here, and to turn it into style, you right click on it and you go down to create style. Okay, and I'll show you how that works. Go ahead and clear this gradient from here. Now we have our ellipse, and we'll go over to our styles, and you'll see I've already saved this style here. I added some effects. I have a outer shadow and inner glow on that, so it makes it pop off the page a little bit. But there you have it. It's an easy way to use your gradients on all types of objects. You can save them and use them over and over again. It's a really great tool. So thanks so very much for watching today. If you have anything that you'd like to learn more about, let me know. If you like what I do, go ahead and click the buttons, like, share, and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you again next time. Thanks so much for stopping by.